So it's New Year's Eve, end of 2021, and I do this thing every year. I've always just done it for myself, but this time it's going to be on YouTube, and it's like an end of year pool review thing. It's going to be interesting to me, and that's probably it. But what the heck? I got a camera, I got YouTube, all this shit. I have kittens, in case you can't hear them. So I always kind of follow the same kind of formula with this stuff. And the first thing I talk about is the equipment. Equipment that I've purchased over the year, the equipment that I've switched to over the year. And this year I've kind of gone a little bit insane and bought a bunch more stuff. Spent a hell of a lot more money on stuff too. So I started out the year about the first half of January with this peach hour. This was very, very trusty cue. This was kind of the first time I went back to a stock shaft after playing for years and years and years with the Predator 314 or later on the Jacoby Ultras. Back to the stock shafts. I had a very good Derby City Classic Banks tournament with this cue. So this was my main cue from early 2019 until January of 2021. Not too shabby. So what happened was in November of 2020, I bought this cue. This is another peach hour. But it had like a bite taken out of it. I think there was something wrong up here maybe. And it had a really, really crappy linen wrap. So I shipped it off to Rick Phillippi, who does all my refinishing work. And he fixed all the imperfections and put a boar's hide wrap on it. I got this cue back in mid-January. And immediately this became my new main cue. I just like the looks of this better than the other one. I can't entirely say why. This is a little bit more plain. Maybe that's it. My tastes have changed over the years where it doesn't have to be like some super ostentatious thing. But so this was my main from about the middle of January of this year until to be continued here. In late January, I won this cue in a raffle. This is a Carmelli, and I won this in one of Tony Chohan's raffles. You know, like I said, late January. This is a beautiful cue. Tony Chohan raffles, awesome stuff. It's got this Spanish bull wrap, which you can't tell from the camera, but it looks great and it feels really great. I'd always had the boar's hide leather wrap put on my cues. Like this is great though. But like I said, my taste has been changing, and at some point I kind of decided that this here was just a little bit too ostentatious and gaudy for me. So this was not my new main cue. I stuck with that peach hour. But it's cool to have this, and I can hang on my wall, you know. It's always fun. This cue here was never a contender for anything, but this is a nostalgic purchase for me. The first real cue I ever had was the Mcdermott D12. And this was from like 1987 to 1991. Mcdermott D12. And I bought one. I finally found one for sale in February, and I bought it. Now, when I bought this cue, of course, it was used. It was absolute. I mean, it was trashed, and it had really crappy nylon wrap. And so I shipped this off to Rick Phillippi. I'm like, are you going to be able, is he going to be able to do anything with it? And it almost looks brand new. It almost looks brand new. He did a fantastic job. The man knows how to refinish cues. Again, this is just on my wall. Of course, I've shot some balls with it. It's a nostalgia thing. I learned how to be a good player with an Mcdermott D12 just like this. Pretty cool. All right. So I mentioned that I won that Carmelli. That was my first ever custom cue. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I got all these damn Sean's and PTRs and all that, but mass market type things. That was a custom cue, and it kind of got the bug a little bit. So I went out and looked online and saw this cue for sale. This is another Carmelli, and I just really, really love the colors, the blues in here. I like the diamonds. There's, of course, the sharp points. And down here was just a little bit plain for me, but again, my tastes have changed, so this is perfectly fine. It had the world's slipperiest Irish linen wrap, so I shipped this off to Rick Phillippi in mid-February to get it rewrapped. And also, he changed the butt end so it would accept an extension. So that was like mid-February. Meanwhile, I'm still shooting with the PTR. That's still my main setup. So the cue I shoot the best with. Then what happened, and I want to say about March, is I won this cue in one of Tony's raffles. This is a Tim Scruggs. And while I did not like the looks of it all that much, I'm trying to find the logo, I didn't like the looks of it all that much in the pictures. Once I got the cue, this cue is in unbelievably great condition. And I don't know what kind of wrap this is, but it feels fan-freaking-tastic. Almost immediately when I got this became my new main cue. I took my trusty PTR and hung it up on the wall. What happened was I went out, I got this on a Thursday, and 2 days later I went to my local pool hall and played bank pool against the guy I usually play against, and absolutely murdered. So I got used to this cue immediately. And I'm like, okay, this is a custom cue. This is probably going to be my cue for the rest of my life. This is what I'm thinking. I'd already forgot about all the other shit. Then what happened in June? Well, in June, I got the Mcdermott back from getting refinished and rewrapped and all that. So that was cool. And I got this Carmelli back, which I forgot I even owned. I think I got this. I bought it used, got it, from the Facebook guy, and it seemed like the next day I shipped it off because you could barely even hold on to it. The wrap was so slippery. Anyway, so I got this back in June. I briefly tried shooting with it for a while, and it was pretty clear to me that while this is a fine cue and definitely beautiful, it wasn't as good as my Scruggs as far as playability goes. It just wasn't. So this went on my wall, and I'm shooting with the Scruggs. And I'm like, yep, I'm happy now. I'm good now. Then what happened is in July, I'm just looking at Facebook, and the thing pops up, says there's a Southwest cue for sale. Now I've entered a lot of Southwest cue raffles that Tony Schwann's put on. Haven't won one of those. This guy's selling one used. From the pictures, yeah, it looks pretty good. So, messaged him a couple times, bought the thing. Now, you'd have to know me, I guess. For me, a Southwest cue has always had an allure that may not be deserved fully, but it has like more street cred for me than almost any other cue. And that's just kind of the way it is, and I don't know when that started. But that was the way it is. So for me, the chance to get a Southwest, I didn't want to pass it up. This was a Southwest that already had a leather wrap on it as well, which I thought was cool. A lot of the Southwests I've seen in person and in pictures are wrapless. I'm not a huge fan of wrapless cues. This had a leather wrap on it. And so that was this one. This has been my main cue since I got it. I got this cue on a Thursday, and Saturday I was down in New Orleans playing Tony Johan with this cue. A couple of days later, I played another top player in bank pool with this cue. I didn't even take anything else. Still kind of getting used to it. I really seriously am. has different characteristics, mostly as far as squirt goes, than, for example, my Scruggs. I think I still play better with that Scruggs than with this, but it's not much of a difference. And this is one of the things about, again, this is about me, is I've got this damn obsession, and I keep buying pool cues just to have them. I'm collecting pool cues, you know. If I were going to think about that as a game, you know, the pool cue game, I think I've won that game. For me, by getting a Southwest, I think I've won the pool cue game. So I don't have a whole lot to look forward to anymore. It was always just a little bit of excitement and all that. Get a new cue, a new toy to play with for a while and all that. Even if it was never going to be anything like a main cue, just something cool to play with and all. You know, now I might have to start doing drugs or something, spend my money on that, don't know. But just for kicks, again, this has been my main since January, or since July. Just for kicks, in, I want to say October or something like that, I bought this cue. This is a Divinity Cube. And I'd heard good things about Divinity Cubes, and this is also a Killwood shaft. I'd heard good things about Killwood shafts. So this is like best of both worlds. This is all copper in here. All this stuff, I don't know how they do it. Not a cue maker, disclaimer, not a cue maker. This cue looks really good, and this, it feels like a regular shaft. You can't, I mean, sure, it's a darker color because of the Killwood, the whatever the process is they do. I can't remember what it is, but it feels like a regular wood shaft. Just be completely honest, this does not hit nearly as well as I thought it would, and nearly as well as some of the things I read. It just doesn't. Some of that may be the tip that's on it. Whatever's on it is what came with it. Or it may just be just my own personal taste. I'm used to certain things. And plus I'm stubborn as hell. And I've decided that that Southwest is my main cue. So there we go with that. And the Southwest continues to be my main. I'm not really foreseeing there coming a time when it's not, unless I get another Southwest that I like that looks up better. As I said, Tony Troyan has raffled off some really beautiful stuff, and some of them have been Southwest, and some of them, boy, I really wish I would have won, but I didn't. You know, I like the way my current Southwest looks, but there could be something else that comes along that I like better. You just never know. I'm a grown man. I'm allowed to change my mind. The only other piece of equipment that I really want to talk about, I bought a bunch of shafts and stuff, but who cares, right? Carbon fiber shafts, carbon fiber core shafts, various low squirt shafts. Nobody cares. The only thing I bought, and I actually bought two of these, is this is a dealer case, and for some reason I had this idea that, well, I know exactly what caused it. Is I had a chance to purchase a motorhome really cheaply, a good motorhome really cheaply, and I'm kind of at the age where maybe I could start thinking about maybe retiring and stuff. And I thought, well, heck, if I'm gonna, quit my job and hit the road in my new motorhome or my used motorhome, I'm gonna take my cues with me. So I bought two of these dealer cases to hold all my shit, all my cues if that ever happens. So now I have them. I have bet 30 other cases that are like $2 for shafts. Regular cases. This is like $20, 40 shafts, $20, 20 shafts, whatever. But about two of them, and that's what I did with that. Didn't say any of this was going to be exciting. Just to remind you of that. It's interesting to me, and I can go back and watch this. When I'm old and too old to stand up and play pool, I can go, oh, I remember when you got all that stuff in 2021 because you were bored because of the pandemic. There was a global pandemic. It was in all the papers. You might have heard about it. I'm not sure. But that's the physical stuff. The equipment side of things. Not the physical stuff. The equipment side of things. For my recap of this year. The next thing I always cover is my physical shooting style. over the years, it's varied quite a bit. I like to try different things, and the things I like to try, it includes bending down more, having a longer bridge, having a shorter bridge, doing different physical things. I enjoy doing that, and every now and then I'll come across something and it'll end up working really well for me. Maybe even works and lasts for a while for me. 2021, there wasn't quite so much of that. 2021, I seem to be just trying to become a little bit more efficient, I guess. Not working so hard, bending over nice practice strokes, and not trying to be so serious about it and all that. Just trying to stay just more relaxed and more efficient. And that's just the way it is right now. That's the way it's been since, I want to say about September or so. And there's a reason for that. The reason for that is my feet are killing me, especially my right foot. And that is really making me slow down, hobble around the table, not really wanting to worry about getting all solid and all the. No, it's just get up here and let's just shoot, and it's working for me. So it's one part of my physical game that I wasn't expecting it. It's not something I'm particularly working on. It's something I'm kind of being forced into because of my foot. As I said, it's kind of working for me, and that maybe I need to hire Tanya Harding to follow me around with a hammer and whack on me. If I ever start feeling too good, she can whack on me and make me limp again, because it's slowing me down and it's helping me concentrate. And that's kind of leads into the next topic that I always cover, is my mental game. My biggest problem has always been concentration. Always been. And that means getting distracted by stuff too easily, getting distracted by my own internal thoughts too easily. A lot of times I would have I call it the give a shit factor, where I'm not going to bother trying to make that shot. I'm just going to whack at the ball and let the other guy shoot. And these are all things that have been problems for me over the years. And these are all things I've been working on over the years, because I think they would help me more than anything else. Being able to concentrate is going to help me more than buying a Southwest, for example. You can't really buy ability beyond a certain point. I wouldn't want to shoot with a house cue or something. But the concentration side of things and the give a shit factor side of things, definitely things that I need to work on, and it's helped. And my damn feet hurting so much have helped. They've caused me to slow down. So while I'm hobbling up to the table or hobbling up to my next shot, I have more time to think about maybe not doing something stupid. It's like I said, I need to hire Tanya Harding. I used to have a big crush on her. I probably don't anymore, but I used to. There's a moth. Photobomb by moth. So that's the mental side of things. Absolutely an improvement on pretty much across the board for me on the mental stuff. And then the very last thing I always cover is, the next to last thing. Yeah, next to last thing. It's like my overall game. And I think of this as like me as a player. I go into the pool hall and I meet myself from 2 years ago or 5 years ago or 6 months ago, whatever. Where do I stack up? And I can absolutely say that mentally, my game is a lot better than any of my past selves. Even back when I was at the top of my game in the 1990s, I shot so damn fast, there was no concentration or nothing. It wasn't an issue. The ball was just going to go in, just run out. Okay, now you rack. And then I'll just run out again. That was just the way it worked. Nowadays, not so much. The mental side of my game is a lot better than it's been, I would say, ever. And hopefully it will continue to improve. Now the physical side of my game, again, it's always evolving and things like that. I'm not comfortable playing because of my feet. and I don't see nearly as well as I should see. I think I mentioned before, I had LASIK in this eye. I'm naturally nearsighted, okay? I had LASIK in this eye in 2012 to be able to see far away and be able to see the balls on a pool table. And that certainly worked. This eye they didn't touch. So this eye remained nearsighted while this eye was farsighted. And I always thought it was kind of cool that if I'm playing pool, this eye is doing most of the seeing, but I'm going to read a book, this eye is doing most of the seeing. My brain just knew. I always thought that was kind of cool. But here over the last couple of years, where I used to have an overlap, this eye could see fine out to about 4 feet. This eye could see fine from 3 feet on, that type of deal. There was an overlap, and that overlap happened to be about where the pool balls are when you're getting ready to shoot. I don't have that overlap anymore. This eye has gotten more and more nearsighted over the years. And so now, again, I don't have that overlap. I don't see nearly as well as I would like. And I tell myself this just about every year. Hey, kitty. I guess I say hey, kitty every year. They are allowed on the pool table when the cover is on the table. And I think they're starting to finally learn that. Don't know this for a fact, but that's no, so I'm thinking about getting LASIK in this eye. If I get LASIK in this eye, to even them out, they can both see at distance, then I have to start wearing reading glasses like an old man. But, I kind of am an old man, so it wouldn't be the end of the world. The biggest problem would be having to lug around the damn reading glasses. Or what? Be one of those dorks with the string and you hang them from your neck. I don't want to do that, and so I keep putting it off. I keep putting it off because I don't want to have to wear reading glasses. But I got this eye done to help my pool game, and now, I'm thinking once again, I should get this eye done as well to help my pool game once again. We'll see if this ever happens. Don't know. I would say that as a player, I'm probably about the same as I've been for the last 3 or 4 years. I think that where my mental attitude and all that are getting better, my body's starting to betray me just a little bit, with the vision, with the feet and all that. I'm not a ball pocketer anymore. I used to be a ball pocketer. Not anymore. Now I'm, in theory, older and wiser, so I'm able to shoot the right shots all the time instead of just shoot everything because everything's going in. That's the way it used to be for me. And we'll see. I think if I went into a pool hall and had to play myself from 5 years ago, I think it would end up being a wash. It would be 2 different players playing, though. It'd be one guy shooting at everything, probably being too reckless and doing stupid stuff, but still getting out quite a bit. And it would be the present day me that spends a lot of time waiting for the opponent to screw up, and then he comes in and he plays the right shot, plays them right, and tortoise in the hair. That's what I was thinking about. Tortoise in the hair. 2021 Dave would be the tortoise. 2015 Dave would be the hare. Anyway, many of my damn analogies. The last thing that I always cover every year is, okay, what are my goals for next year? Pool-wise, what are my goals for next year? And often it's something like, hey, Dave, you know how you're always trying all these different physical elements and different styles and all this and that? Why don't you fucking pick one and stick with it for a year? Maybe that should be a goal. That's been fairly common, that I would tell myself that every year. I'm going to stick with this style, and I'm not going to do all this experimentation that I've been doing. It never happens because I like trying different stuff and doing the experimentation. That's part of what makes pool fun for me, is trying the different things. So this year, that's not going to be a goal. Another goal that I often have is, don't screw around. Try to take it seriously all the time. I have written on my whiteboard up here, I own a Scruggs and a Southwest. I should act like it. In other words, don't fuck around. Take the game seriously. And again, that's not going to be a goal this year for 2022, because if I'm serious all the time, I'm not having as much fun. And unfortunately, or I don't know if it's unfortunate or not, that's what's most important to me in my career these days is enjoying it and having a good time playing. And so I don't know if I have any goals for pool except keep trying to gradually improve everything that you've always been trying to gradually improve. I'm not going to say, no, you're going to use this style and you're going to take everything seriously and whatever other else. No, I'm not going to say that. Well, A, because I know I wouldn't do it. It's like a New Year's resolution, but they last to the middle of January and that's it. There's a reason I don't make New Year's resolutions. There's a reason I'm not going to make a pool resolution for 2022. And the other reason, besides the fact that I wouldn't do it, is it's just not as much fun. It would not be as enjoyable for me. And I've always said, you know, if anything is not enjoyable, why do it? I guess besides work. Some people have to work even though they hate it. But then you get money, and that's fun. Getting money is enjoyable. And I guess that's probably it for my recap. It's a lot longer than most of my other recaps are. But it is my first one for YouTube, and I did get a lot of equipment that I just wanted to just talk about. And that is going to be it. I still got a few hours left before midnight. I'm just not getting anything else pool-wise is going to happen between now and midnight. I got a thing I got to go to that I don't really want to go to, but I kind of do want to go to it. So I'm going to shut off the camera and start the upload process. And everybody watching this, have a great new year, and may all your dreams come true and all that fun stuff. So let's see here. Click.